Hi there, my name is Lewis and today I will be cooking historical foods. Hi there, in today's video I'm going to be looking at the history and culture behind pre-colonial era foods in America. Before the colonists came over, multiple Native American tribes lived throughout the American continent. Each tribe had its own traditions and beliefs when it came to the food that they ate. However, most tribes had a few standard practices. A lot of tribes ate food that they themselves had grown or harvested. Popular foods consisted of corn, beans, and squash. These three foods were so prominent in most cultures that they have been referred to as the Three Sisters, as they were basically the three building blocks of the Native American diet. Alongside vegetables, Native Americans ate game food. A lot of these foods were things like buffalo, bison, and rabbit. Today I'm going to be preparing three different meals: buffalo stew, acorn squash, and bean bread. Two of these dishes, as you can see, contain one of the Three Sisters, and the buffalo stew contains the common game buffalo. So, let's see how this goes. Squash was commonly grown in the southern region of the Americas, leading to tribes like the Hopi, Navajo, and Zuni to eat it frequently during the autumn and winter seasons. This is a fairly simple dish to prepare. Squash is cut down the middle and left to cook until soft. Halfway through cooking, butter and maple syrup is added before cooking again for just a bit longer. Once it's done, the dish is topped with maple syrup, nuts, and gathered fruits and berries. Squash was one of the many staple foods of the Native Americas for its easy cultivation, storage during the winter time, its seeds that could be both grown and eaten, and its shell, which was often dried and repurposed into bowls or storage containers. Acorn squash is also very high in carbohydrates and vitamin D, making it very filling and very healthy. Next up, we're making bean bread. Bean bread is a common side dish with most meals. Like most Native American foods, each tribe has their own variation depending on what resources were available at the time. Today, I will be making the Cherokee version of bean bread. In this version, masa harnita, a dried corn dough, is mixed with beans and bean broth. Then we scoop out the mixture, form it into thin circles, and wrap it in corn husks before boiling it. Some popular variations of this dish include adding corn into the dough and steaming instead of boiling. Bean bread was a popular dish among the Cherokee and neighboring tribes, as beans and corn were very common and prominent ingredients. They were also two of the three sisters. This dish was also very dense, making it a very filling side dish and a very easy pairing with most meals. Also, just a quick little side note or tangent. I did end up undercooking the bean bread, which led to a kind of slimy texture as the corn didn't fully settle, so it was a bit icky. I would not suggest undercooking this stuff. Now you know. Finally, we have buffalo stew, or, and please forgive me for this pronunciation, Tonka Milo. This dish was eaten by the Lakota and Cherokee people. It's important to know that buffalo and bison were very important animals for Native Americans. They were commonly hunted and they were used for various things like fur skin, clothing, trade, and food. Today, buffalo and bison are very scarce as they were overhunted by settlers. To make buffalo stew, we first sear the buffalo cubes until brown in a pot. Then we add water, tomatoes, celery, potatoes, and barley. Barley and potatoes were very popular for dishes like stew, as they were very easy to cultivate and they were very filling additions to any meal. Once the stew has been left to sit for a bit, we then put it into the oven and bake it for around 25 minutes before finally serving it. Also, this is just another little comment. I did not show myself adding tomatoes. Just know that tomatoes were eventually added to the dish. I just didn't get that part on camera because I kind of forgot that they were ingredients in the recipe. Three common Native American dishes. Each dish contains one of the core building blocks of the Native American diet. with the three sisters, homegrown veggies, alongside game and other foraged food. These meals helped to show the connection the natives had with Mother Nature and the time and respect they gave to the food-making process. Now then, I don't know if you can see that. Shoot. And here we have the final product. Now let's eat it and see how it is. And there we have it. Time to try it. So here we got the stew. It's very thin broth. There's not a whole lot of spices to it, but it does have flavor. The meat itself is very firm and hard, which I do enjoy, and the barley adds just a nice little extra thing. Next up we got some of the bean bread. It's good. It's very dense. It basically just kind of tastes like the outside of a tamale, but I like it. And then finally we got the acorn squash. Now, something I did not record was my dad making a little nut and fruit topping, because the natives commonly top their acorn squashes with fruits that they harvested along with nuts. So here we got some homegrown apples and some nuts, just kind of in maple syrup and butter.